views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hi, my name is Denise Nunez. I'm a pediatrician here in the Bronx, and I am presenting today our program's Leaders of the Future. So I'm here at Niña La Caridad, and we help our youth in their educational path. We're trying to aim to create leaders in our community, in our Hispanic community. So we were fortunate enough to have BronxNet partner with us, Niña La Caridad, and create this amazing programs, Leaders of the Future. It will be hosted by our youth with their ideas, imaginations, and they're going to be producing it at the same time. So please join us, welcoming them to this new program, and please support them because it's all them, and they're doing it, and we have to support our leaders and we have to support our youth. Well, thank you, and I hope you enjoy it. Bye.
Hello everyone, welcome to our first program done with a lot of love for you guys at home.
Hi, Lisha. I am so grateful to introduce to you our new program, Leaders of the Future.
So Royce, do you know we're not going to be working alone? We're going to be working with other teen leaders in this program.
Sure, I like everything about the program, and now I'm going to introduce to you our friend, Fatima Hernandez, with the news.
Don't forget to wear your mask.
Thanks, ladies. I'm Fatima Hernandez, and today I'll be giving you guys a recap of this week's Loft News. After blended learning was approved between once and 3 times a week starting September 21st, over 365,000 public school students have opted for fully remote learning due to COVID-19. Moving on to other news, this year's New York Fashion Week was a mix of both live and virtual shows. For those with the live audience, had a maximum of 50 people. The virtual shows were able to be enjoyed at the official New York Fashion Week platform, where many famous designers showcased their latest collection. In other news, from September 15 to October 15, we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month here in the United States. This is a very important celebration where we recognize the achievements, contributions, and successes of Latinx people here in this country. That's all for today's Loft News, guys. Back to Lisha.
Hi, welcome to our segment Q&A Corner of our Leaders of the Future program. And today we're going to discuss about leadership. And my first question to our teen leaders is, what does leadership mean for you?
In my opinion, leadership means having respect to the people who look after you. You are basically the role model for them, and you need to give them the example.
I think that when taking on a leadership role, you're also becoming accountable not only for yourself, but for the people who you are leading, and you become the person who everybody feels like they can rely and trust on. Just always be there for the people who trust and confide in you.
I think it means power, like when you distribute you don't take it all for yourself, you share the power of other people. Like you don't command anybody that you want, whatever they have to do what you want specifically, you share it.
Leadership is when you take other people's opinion into consideration and you bring everything that they tell you to a bigger table.
So our second question is, can you give me some qualities that a leader has?
Can think quick on their feet.
I think that a leader should be able to understand and put themselves in other people's shoes.
I think a leader should be able to put themselves in other people's mindset and welcome their mind and be open-minded to everything.
I agree with them because basically, like this phrase, treat others the way you want to be treated. you have to treat them the way you would like to be treated, because you wouldn't like to be treated like in a bad, like, yeah.
Muchas gracias por esta oportunidad para conocerte y para conversar contigo. Eres un ejemplo a seguir, eres del Bronx. Trabajamos junto en la fundación, como sabes, y gracias por soportar la fundación, por habernos elegido. Estos son parte de los jóvenes que están en la fundación. Todos te admiran, quieren saber de ti, quieren saber cómo llegaste. La idea de la fundación es ayudar a los jóvenes a terminar la high school, porque tenemos un high dropout aquí y muchos no van a la high school, muchos no van a la universidad. Y entonces mi familia y yo decidimos poner la fundación para ayudar a los jóvenes a eso y para tener personas, bueno, definitivamente como usted, para que los anime. They have the role, they know when they can ask you the question, so you give the go and they'll ask the question.
You don't mind if I say it in Spanish, right?
Yeah, of course, bro.
All right. Me gustaría saber a mí y a los demás qué fue lo que más te inspiró a escribir música y quiénes estuvieron contigo y te apoyaron desde el principio sin dudar en ti.
Yo creo que personas que me motivaron, yo creo que mi mamá me apoyó mucho. Ella siempre, como que yo quería salir a un karaoke, quería cantar, ella siempre como que me apoyó, ¿me entiendes? Entonces creo que es muy importante también la familia, amistades, personas que uno realmente quiere. Es muy importante también como que recibir el apoyo de ellos y dar apoyo también. Creo que especialmente en el Bronx, donde tenemos muchas cosas negativas alrededor, donde tenemos como que a lot of things distracting us, es muy importante siempre como que la unión, do something that can get you a step forward. I think my family helped me a lot with that.
En su carrera completa de ser músico y bachatero, ¿usted ha sentido como darse por vencido?
Yo creo que sí. Creo que el feeling de darse por vencido es un feeling que uno siente en muchas ocasiones, creo. Creo que es inevitable uno sentirse como que, coño, man, I want to quit, o no sé si esto es para mí, o no sé si puedo. Creo que eso es parte de la vida. Creo que todo tiene un balance. Creo que en la vida hay un balance. Si hay felicidad, hay tristeza. Hay que trabajar fuerte para conseguir lo que queremos. Siempre van a haber dificultades, ¿me entienden? En la vida. Yo siempre he pensado que si tú no crees en tú mismo, ¿quién va a creer en ti? ¿Me entiendes? Todo empieza contigo.
Mi pregunta es, ¿cómo fue tu vida de niño? Y si una vez pensaste que iba a llegar tan lejos como ahora.
Yo creo, Ariani, que no quiero sonar cocky, right? Pero yo creo que sí. Como que yo siempre en mi mente me visualicé. How do I say visualize in Spanish? Visualicé. Yo siempre me visualicé teniendo éxito. Como que yo estaba cantando en karaoke, yo repartía flyers en los festivales dominicanos. Y yo siempre como que me veía así, me veía como que famoso, la gente cantando mi música. Y creo que como respondí en la última pregunta, yo lo vi y me lo creí desde ese entonces. And I became it a reality.
¿Qué consejos me puedes dar cuando las cosas no salen bien?
Yo creo que, como dije anteriormente, es normal que las cosas a veces no salgan bien. Creo que hay un dicho que dice, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, you know. Entonces, creo que como dije, no todo va a ser perfecto en la vida. Hay cosas que uno piensa que va a salir de una manera y sale de otra. Y creo que todos esos obstáculos y obstáculos hay que navegar con ellos y encontrar la manera de arreglarlo. Esto me fue de una manera y no quería que fuera así, pero how could I make that better? ¿Cómo puedo arreglarlo? ¿O cuál otras opciones tengo para seguir hacia adelante? Por ejemplo, estamos aquí ahora con coronavirus and a bunch of stuff. A mí se me canceló mi gira. Una gira completa, 40 fechas, got canceled, se me cancelaron. Plan it out, porque, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. También es importante tener varias opciones.
At what point did you realize that you had made it in your music career?
At what point did I realize that I made it in my music career? That's a great question because it's a weird question for me. Because like in the beginning, I've had a lot of success since like very like right away. Like I was like 19 years old and I was already successful. But I didn't feel actual success for me within. It's gonna sound weird, but like to almost recently type of thing. Because I feel like I don't like everyone has the definition of success is different for everyone. Um, and in the very beginning, it was like a lot of work, a lot of work, a lot of work, a lot of work. And yes, I was making money, but it was like a lot of things. And it wasn't until I was very deep in, like a few years in, that for me, I felt like true success. I feel that in the beginning in any field, whether it's music, acting, school, it feels like a lot of work. Like I'm sure like you guys right now, how old are you right now?
16.
Okay, so you're 16. So it's gonna feel like a lot of work for you. Like you're gonna be in school, you're gonna be working a lot. A lot of it's gonna feel free, and you're like, okay, I'm not making money, I'm just working, working, working. Or you get a job and you're like not happy with what you're getting paid with. So that's what I mean, like by success. Like in the beginning, it felt like a lot of work, where maybe it's like I'm not getting paid what I want to get paid, or maybe I'm like, like, is this even worth it? So it wasn't until like I was really deep in that I felt like I was having, for me at least, even though I was having success, obviously I was having success, but for me, it wasn't until like a few years ago that I was like, man, I feel successful. Like I was able to get a lot of things that I wanted to get, or I was able to help a lot of people that I wanted to help, like my family, like my mom. And I'm able to kind of enjoy my success a little more now, because in the beginning it's like a lot of work. So I think that that's when I felt like successful. When you look back and you're able to see like, man, all that work I did, it feels like it was worth it. That's when I felt successful. And I think that it's a good thing to tell you guys that, because in the beginning it does feel like a lot of work. In the beginning, you're gonna work a lot of years, especially in school, especially in college, especially in high school, where you feel like, man, I don't want to work. I want to go hang out. I want to go chill. I want to go party. And it's not until way later that you're gonna look back and say, wow, it was worth it. I know a lot of people my age now that say, man, I should have went to school then, and that are going to school now, having to pay for it on their own. They didn't take advantage of like the help they were getting when they were kids in college, and they find themselves doing the work now, wanting to have done it earlier on in their life, when they were 18, when they were 19, when they were 20. So I think it goes back to the beginning of the conversation when I said, put that work in now, so that way 10 years from now, it's going to be worth it. And and that's when you're going to find true success, when you look back and say, man, if I did that work then.
I have a question. So, what is the title of your first song, and what is the meaning behind it?
Oh, okay. The song was called Amor Platónico. And I wrote it to like mixtape style. You know how like you find beats online? Like you could find beats, like you can Google beats and stuff on YouTube. And it was like a generic beat. And I wrote it to that generic beat. And it was just like a love song. I was like 16, 17. And it was just like a beautiful romantic song. I don't even know what it was about. I got to go listen to it again. But that's what it was called, Amor Platónico.
I deal with anxiety, and it's hard for me to go to school and like take tests because I get bad anxiety from it. So I was wondering, have you ever dealt with performance anxiety?
I think all the time. I think there's different levels of anxiety. I think there's just so much stress in general in life. I think there's just so much stress. And it's only going to get more stressful too. So I think that if you feel, I don't know if you've tried to get help before or not, but if you feel like you genuinely have anxiety, try to talk to somebody about it, try to relax. And I think that we're often scared and that's very brave of you to say that, because we're often scared to tell people when we feel weird about something. We're afraid to tell people like, hey, I think I need help, or I think I'm feeling something that I'm not supposed to be feeling. So I think that try to get as much help as you can, whether it's through your counselors, whether it's through school, whether it's even a doctor, whatever it is, and wherever it is you feel like you can get that help. But I think that we all deal with anxiety issues. I think we have so much stress in life, and it only gets more stressful when you're an adult. Like, you got to worry about bills, and even I'm sure like you see your parents go through a lot of stress with a lot of things they got to deal with. We deal with school, we deal with relationships, we deal with friendships, we deal with stuff that's happening at home, we deal with stuff that it's frustrating, stuff at work, and stuff that you want to achieve your goals and maybe you're not achieving them yet. So I think that I definitely 100% deal with anxiety every time. Almost every little thing feels like literally a mini anxiety attack. But I just think you got to find the strength. Like, you got to find the strength to relax and chill. And I think that when I just go and do it, once I'm doing it, I relax a bit. I feel like I get a lot of anxiety on the road to doing something than actually doing. Like me before a concert, or even me before this interview. Before this interview, I'll be 100% honest with you. I'm like, oh, I gotta do some interviews. I gotta go do this. But once I'm here, I'm good. I'm talking, I'm involved. But for real though, it's the road to getting there that's stressful, I feel. And you don't want to, and it's of course I want to lay in bed and just chill there and play Xbox and Call of Duty all day. I don't want to do the show. I don't want to do that interview. I don't want to do, I just did a Berkeley online class for music, an online class. It was 16 weeks. And at first I was very motivated. I was very cool. By the third week, I'm like, why did I sign up for this? But it's once I'm in front of the laptop and I'm here, that's it. I'm on. So I think that you got to find the strength to get there. And once you're there, that's it. Once you get to school, that's it. You're there. So I think a lot of it is very in the mind. And that goes for the gym too. On the way to the gym, I'm like, oh, whatever. So I think also you got to find what works for you. I find drinking some coffee helps me. I find that going to the gym helps me. So I think you got to find out what works for you and just do it. It's like the Nike commercial, just do it. So I definitely do anxiety all the time. Find out what works for you that could diffuse that anxiety, and get you, I love playing video games. I love playing video games. When I play video games, I forget about everything. I could be mad about something, I play video games and I'm happy. So I think find things that you like that removes that anxiety, that helps you chill out. And I think you got to balance time too. I don't feel like there's a fly here. I feel like we don't balance time often. And time is so precious. And I feel like in school I had that issue too. I had that issue of doing last minute things, not timing myself, and that would create anxiety. So I think if you need extra days to really study or whatever, give yourself that time so that way you're not getting caught up doing stuff last minute, which then stresses you out.
Gracias por coger la fundación. Y mi pregunta es, ¿cómo estudiar literatura te ayudó en tu proceso de escribir música?
Yo creo que estudiar literatura me ayudó en el sentido de que it's literally escribir música, ¿me entiendes? Como que creo que es muy importante leer, escribir, aprender cómo escribe ese autor, por qué escribe así, qué lo hace diferente a él a otra persona. Y creo que reading is important in general. I love watching CNN, por ejemplo. I'm watching TV, estoy mirando la televisión, I'm learning about things that are happening in the world.
I wanted to ask you a question. So, si tú pudieras darle un consejo a tu versión adolescente, ¿qué consejo tú le darías?
Un consejo para mí es ahorrar dinero. Y not that I've blown all my money, pero I think back, yo pienso atrás y pienso como que there's a lot of stupid things that I wasted my money on, especially in the beginning, And I should have bought more investment property. I should have invested my money in something, I should have taken that money and invested in this or that. Pero creo que definitivamente everyone's different. You're not the same as me. We're all different. And it's okay to have your own path. So I think that definitely, if you make some money, save your money, invest it, think wisely, invest it in yourself.
¿Cuál ha sido la lección más importante que has aprendido en tu vida?
La lección más importante que he aprendido en mi vida. Yo no sé si en mi vida, pero había una lección this year, like 6 months ago, con lo que está pasando. Hay que valorar la vida, hay que también como que think forward. A veces, muchas veces uno está como que en el momento y no estamos planificando para el futuro. También saber que hay cosas que pasan en la vida que uno no tiene el control. So you got to plan for those things too. Sería eso, ¿no? Hay que valorar cada momento también. El tiempo pasa rápido. When you're young, your age, como que you're not really thinking about it. You just want to get older, como que. And then I'm like, oh, now I'm like, I wish I was like 17 years old, you know? Use your time wisely. And think about, you know, who you want to be and what you want to do. You got one life. You know?
My question to you is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Do you see yourself still making music or doing something else?
I hope I can make music from my whole life, you know? But I don't know, you know? A mí me encantaría hacer más cosas, like executive produce TV shows. Me encantaría get into like movies or acting. Me encantaría get into like other businesses. But definitely 5 years, I would love to continue to sing. You know, that's always the goal. I'd love to continue to sing forever. But nothing is forever. So, like I said before, I must start thinking of my backup plans as well. You know, what would happen if this is not a success? What would happen if this happens? So yeah, at the same time, I'd love to keep singing. But I have to also think about, you know, what other things can I venture and what else can I do, you know?
How has music impacted your life to start singing?
Music, I just love music. I just think music for me, like, music is there for you when you're sad. It's there for you when you're at the club. It's there for you at your birthday. It's there for you at a barbecue. So I just think like being able to tell stories through music or being able to make people cry, being able to make people dance is something very emotional. And it's something like you listen to a song and that song takes you back to like that time and that place, like where was I heard that song for the first time, who I was dating or which friends I was around. And I think that's something very beautiful about music. And it's something that not too many like, there's not too many things that make you connected the way music makes you connect. So I think that I'm very fortunate that I was able to do that as a singer as well. But I'm just a fan of music. I love music. I love listening to music in different languages. I love like learning about music. So it was just a passion that I've always had.
¿Cómo te sientes sobre el resultado del remix de Carita de Inocente con Mike Towers, teniendo en cuenta que ambos cantan géneros diferentes?
Resultado del Carita Inocente remix. Bien, feliz. Yo creo que en la unión está la fuerza. I think that es muy importante también trabajar con otra persona, colaborar con otra persona. Yo soy creyente de que two heads are better than one, you know? Diferentes escritores que también van a escribir cosas diferentes, que piensan diferente en otra manera. Trato de trabajar con diferentes músicos, get their vibe, un guitarrista nuevo. Porque creo que todos tenemos diferentes visiones. I think it's a beautiful thing. Y creo que you can apply that in school and in anything. You know, get help from other students, get other ideas. Hey, what do you think about this? You know, I think this. What do you think? And I think that when you work together, you can achieve a lot of success.
If you hadn't become a musician, where do you think you would be in life right now?
It's hard to know. I was studying to be an English teacher. I think I've always wanted to be like, I don't know. I wanted to be like involved with schools or like, I don't know, like be able to like impact people some way. I don't know if things would have changed. You know, sometimes, like I said, it's okay for like goals to change too. Like you might want to be something right now, and then in a few years, you know, you decide that it wasn't for you or that you want to change things. So I wouldn't be able to tell you, like, I don't try to predict the future. I don't try to change the past. I just kind of like think the present, you know? So I'm just grateful that things worked out for me. And now I'm like, I look at where I am today and I try to move forward. So no sé qué decirte. I don't know, you know, but that's the path that I was taking. I wanted to be like a journalist or, you know, yeah.
Hi, big fan. I love how
Hey,
deep you're getting
Mariana.
with your answers. My question is, what is your most meaningful song?
My most meaningful song that I've ever written for me is a song called Corazón Sin Cara. I think that song for me was like, I don't know. When I wrote the song, like I wasn't famous. So, but the message was really like about inner beauty and really was, and this is before Instagram, you know, and I think that looking back 10 years, I think it was really special to me, and that it's still that it still applies today and will apply, kind of makes me also want to write, you know, it's hard to write things that are timeless, whether it's in literature or a book or a song. So I think that being able to write something that was timeless was something that was like I'm very proud of.
I know your lifestyle has changed since becoming more famous. So my question is, how has fame changed you, and what have you done to stay grounded and in your roots?
I think that definitely fame has changed me. You know, I think I think I'd be fake or I'd be lying if I say like, oh, everything's the same. Because obviously, like, your surroundings change, people around you change. Being with my family, being able to bring them onto these experiences that maybe I'm more used to now, but they aren't. Those are the things that like make me happy. And I think it's a lot with family. Like, I still act very the same with my family. You know, I definitely try to go back to the Bronx often. And I think that always remembering where I'm from keeps me motivated to continue working, you know. I wanted to do music to leave the Bronx, you know, like I wanted to do music to leave the Bronx because it's like, you know, this is the hood, it's difficult. But doing music now makes me want to continue to go back to the Bronx, because the Bronx is what motivated me to like work. The Bronx is what motivated me to see like drug dealers on my block and be like, nah, I don't want to be like them. I want to do this. The Bronx is what motivated me to like hustle. So I think that when there was like a time in my life that I wasn't in New York for a long time, I was in Miami, and things were just, it sounds dumb, but things were just too beautiful. So, and it was hard for me to write during this moment. This was like 2014, like my second album. So my second album was the time where it was like, you know, I was making money. I left New York. I'm in Miami at like this 30th floor condo with the view of the ocean. And it was very difficult for me to write. It was very difficult to me to like get inspired, because it wasn't like, I didn't find the motivation, you know? So now I change up my settings a lot. Or I go to New York and I do sessions in New York, and I go to the winter and it's cold and I'm outside in the cold. And that's like the gritty feel that reminds me of like what it was when I first started. So I think that like, you know, I always got to get back to like those roots so I can feel like that motivation again. And I think that that's what grounds me and keeps me like focused.
Thank you for watching our first episode, and please follow us up on social media, and see you next episode. Bye.